For me, and I hope for you, the celebration of Christmas yesterday was just a wonderful event. Seemed to be a wonderful spirit here in the parish, and so many hundreds of people came to celebrate the Mass with their families and friends. It was just a wonderful occasion. And we're still, and then had a wonderful dinner with my family yesterday, as I hope you did too. We come here this morning to Mass in the quiet of this moment, to worship Jesus and to thank him for being among us. And we have the story of the first martyr, Saint Stephen. He was appointed by the apostles to be a deacon, and his job was to feed the poor and to help those who are in need. It's the role of deacons today. And it says and he had the privilege of having his martyrdom printed here in the scriptures, as we read this morning in the Acts of the Apostles. Stephen was a man filled with wisdom, it says. And then they came and debated with him about what he was teaching about Jesus. And they didn't want to hear it. They literally blocked their ears and did not want to hear what he was saying. They were saying no to Christ. Stephen was saying yes. The same love that sent Jesus down to earth was the same love that raised Stephen up into heaven at his martyrdom. And notice that while he was serving the poor out of love for them, he was also praying for his persecutors, just like Jesus did from the cross. Father, forgive them, they do not know what they're doing. Stephen was able to forgive them and pray for them as they were stoning him to death, because he had such deep faith. And it says here that he looked up and he saw Jesus at the right hand of the Father, vision of God that gave him the strength to do what he was doing, to hand over his life for Christ. We're all called as Christians to follow Jesus with our whole being and our whole heart. It was love that propelled St. Stephen to preach. It was love that had him feed the poor. It was love that had helped him to forgive his enemies. And so we too must have that same kind of love in our hearts as we try to live our Christian life. So today we thank the Lord for being born for us, and so quickly we realize the reason he came was to die for us on the cross so that we could have eternal life. And we have St. Stephen as a witness to that martyrdom of Christ. He imitated Jesus in his own martyrdom. Let us stand and offer our prayers and petitions.